The numbers keep swelling in internally displaced persons camps as more houses go underwater in Bayelsa State. Ibogene in Yenogwa local government area is one of those communities affected by the flood. Arise correspondent Otitoju George has this report.
Canoes are the major means of transportation in flood-impacted communities such as Ibogene in Yenogwa local government area of Bayelsa State. The children play happily in the water while the adults are concerned about the effects on their livelihood.
People they lost, children they lost. People things don't spoil well. For this Ibogene town, if you look outside, you go see the evidence. River from here to the town side. Now water, now it's there for all the community. May government do something for Ibogene town.
Right now we have recorded 2 dead in Ibogene here. So I'm appealing to the federal government to the only thing the federal government have to complete a dam. That if Cameroon can open the dam can absorb the water, and this havoc it will be minimized to the barest minimum. And I'm appealing to the state government to bring more palliative for the poor people.
This internally displaced persons camp in Ibogene shelters Joy Godwin, the mother of a newborn baby.
No way to enter my room again. My woman just born inside water. No help, nothing. See load. Now inside water I go pick am from wash the body before I come clean like this. Everything spoil.
This my baby. I know me mosquito bite and I make me cover clothes. I want me government help me for this newborn baby. Go with it. The warrior.
If you go to the other side, you will see that mamas, our mothers, our fathers are staying there. They are all compacted to stay in one hall till now. So I wish the federal government and the state governments to come together to focus their eyes to this Camp 1.
Our condition.
His Royal Majesty Mala Sasime is the king of a PA kingdom.
We had thought that after the 212, something should have been done to make sure that this does not happen again. But here we are. We learned nothing, we forgot nothing. All we can do is to pray, and but sometimes prayers alone will not work. Government has to do something positive.
Otitoju George, Arise News.
All right, now Arise analyst Kayode Otitoju joins us to discuss flooding in many parts of the country and responses from the government and the 3 leading presidential candidates, Atiku Abubakar, Bola Tinubu and Peter Obi. Welcome to Newsday. Good day.
Good day.
Let's get straight into it. We saw Peter Obi leading the pack by suspending his campaign, going to the affected areas and also making donations. And since then, we've seen Bola Tinubu make his donation of 100 million naira to Kano. We've seen Atiku Abubakar donate 50 million naira to Kano as well. What are your first takeaways from this, the contribution, the involvement of these presidential candidates to this current crisis happening in the country?
Thank you. In fact, when that topic was sent to me this morning, I almost said that I won't take it. Because each time I discuss Peter Obi, the type of abuses, blame, and criticism I receive from Obedient is such that I have to let people know that I'm not a layabout in any way. The abuse is so much. This blockhead man, this useless old man, I remember this morning when I was watching Abati, the same thing. He expressed the same thing to Peter Obi. I'm not a pushover in life. When I was at their age, as a student, I was student union leader in Ibadan. I was PRO student union, 78, 79. And I have so many of them, even among them, Peter Obi obedient, children. But when people come and seize opportunity of no response, you are not in position to respond to social media, and they start blaming someone that is as old as their parents, I take exception to that. Now to your question. Yes, Peter Obi went to Benue. You know, I mean, as a parent and a good Nigerian, he identified with the people. Even boarded canoe to the area affected. And at the end, he gave his own widow's mite. Okay? And, you know, asked other presidential aspirants to suspend their campaign and let's face this problem of flooding. Okay? I think he gave about 5 million. 5 million is a lot of money to Obi because he doesn't give shishi. You get my point? So it's a lot of money. No, let's face reality. Though other...
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's a heavy topic, so to make light of it.
This is Nigeria,
Please do
so
continue.
let's talk. We are part of the system. Other went to Kano. One donated 100 million. I think Kashiwaju donated 100 million. And Atiku, 50 million. Okay? But they always say, give me how to fish, not how to eat fish. I'm not saying that immediate response to calamity is not welcome. Yes, it is. But all of you, the three front runners, you have had opportunity to make life better. When you were governor of Anambra,
Lagos State.
You know Anambra has a floodplain. There is Anambra River Basin that is a floodplain because it's very close to the River Niger and it's within the floodable zone of River Niger.
I do believe, because you know this was an ongoing debate online throughout the weekend, and I do believe there were some people pointing out reports of how he did dredge some rivers during his tenure.
You know, you asked me to take each of them.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Okay? So, what did you do as strategic plan and operation to make sure that actually this problem is solved once and for all? Even when you can't do that during your time, give the master plan, give it to the incoming governor. After all, he left over 75 billion naira for Obiano, okay, as saving. If he couldn't use that to do channelization and all sorts of things, Obi would have done it. Let's say there was plan. Okay, that's that. Tinubu, when you get to Lagos, one cannot but praise him. The master plan, the strategic plan for flood control. Because among the three front runners, Lagos is the most flood-prone zone in terms of state. And what did he do? All those sections that are bordering the Atlantic, the 5 cowries, he made sure that they are well channeled and all water get to a channel that flow and find its way to either the lagoon or the ocean. The only area remaining is the boundary between Ogun and Lagos State, and that's the river, which is, you know, traversed by River Ogun. And flood is not a bad thing if people don't build their socio-economic activities along flood-prone zone. Okay? You know, this is the course of the river. This is the embankment, and this is the bifurcation ratio of the river. So you tend to move away from it. But where you don't move away from it, government must do something that will make that area usable without people, you know, falling into this perennial or annual problem of when the water overthrows. Then Atiku is the one that, because even River Benue took its source from Adamawa. The source of River Benue is really from Cameroon stroke Adamawa, okay? And here is someone that has been vice president before. People always say vice president is handbag. During first term of Obasanjo, Atiku was the man because Obasanjo left everything for him for the first 4 years. Okay? So he will have designed something. Okay? Though the second term, you know, when Baba wasn't satisfied with him, there was a time we were even discussing, both of us, Obasanjo. And he said that he had to make it difficult and he has to borrow newspaper to read the second time. So that's that. So where I'm going is that flooding is something that should be taken as national problem, more so that we know the channels. We have River Niger and River Benue. They meet at Lokoja. From Lokoja to the Atlantic, it traverses so many states. Okay? So government should take it just as government of US took the Tennessee River. And in 1933, there was, under Roosevelt, there was what we call Tennessee Valley Authority. The problem of Tennessee was more than what we are seeing now. And they took it over, and at the end, apart from flood control, the dams, in fact, it generates, Tennessee River generates the highest volume of power in US as an entity. Okay? Then the embankment is a real regional, well-developed that generates employment opportunity and whatever. This is a federal government something. So when these people are just campaigning and campaigning, let them tell us what they want to do to River Niger, where Nigeria even derives its name. So that from Baro or from Lokoja down to the Atlantic, there will be something like Tennessee Valley Authority or Nile River Initiative or Nile River Authority. Today, since the time of Nazar, the president, that was around 1960, and he built a big dam. Since then, no flooding along River Niger.
But I'm curious, what you're saying, of course, I definitely stand with that. But now that it's campaign season and this situation, unfortunately, is unfolding, of course, we've seen this candidate stepping back with their campaigns and, you know, being hands-on to see how they can provide support. But isn't this also creating an avenue for the government to step away from its own responsibility? Because it seems as though the presidential campaigners or the political campaigners seem to have somewhat taken over to an extent, you know, trying to see how they can render assistance. We've seen assistance from the United States, we've seen assistance from the candidates, and then from the government, what we're hearing is, oh, give account of how you use the ecological funds to the governors in response to the governors who are asking for help. So I'm thinking that this is an opportunity that the government is seeing to step away, because now the campaigns have been, you know, meshed with this unfortunate situation.
And if you don't mind, I'd just like to ask a double question so we can, you know, round up everything after that. You also alluded to the track records of the individual candidates. One was at a federal level, who is Atiku. The other two were at state levels. Yes, and you did state that. So there's now a conflict between the responsibility at state level and that at federal level. And can we really compare somebody's federal track record with somebody's state track record?
That is why the position, let me answer your question. Sure. That's why the position they are now, or that Nigeria is very crucial and very important. Let people come and tell us how they want to initiate something like Tennessee Valley Authority, because that is like the same position. By the time they were doing the Tennessee Valley Authority, the construction or whatever, left about 125,000 people displaced and resettled. But planned resettlement. Now what we are doing, this fire brigade approach, is unplanned settlement or sending people to ID camp. You get my point? Yes. So what I'm saying is this is the time. For Buhari, it's too late for us to hang this thing on his neck.
Sorry, we just have a couple of minutes left. Can you also just answer Cynthia's question?
But for the people who are coming, let them tell us how they want to have a strategic plan and the operation and program that will solve this thing permanently by declaring Niger Valley Authority.
And on a last note, yes.
And what was your question? Sorry, just
we've actually run out of time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.